I have used many different kinds of biological age tests, and they all say that I'm up to 10 to 12 years younger. In fact, regular blood work is actually a lot more important and much more relevant in terms of your overall health. So in this video, I'm going to share my blood work results, and I'm also going to use the Insight Tracker Inner Age test that calculates your estimated biological age based on your blood work. So I've been using Insight Tracker for up to 3 years, and it's an amazing service because you can get the test to your door, you do it at your home, you just use a finger prick for your blood. So I already got back my results for the Inner Age test based on my latest Insight Tracker blood test, and the result is 18.9. My chronological age is 28.9, so I'm almost 29 years old. But based on my blood work, so my blood work status gives me the age of 18.9 or 19 kind of. And if you remember my video from last year around the same time, my inner age was 18, whereas my chronological age was 27.9. So I've pretty much gone up around 0.9 years since the 1 year time span, and that's still I'm maintaining the same kind of good health that I had last year based on this blood work progression. But let's go into some of the details of what is giving me the biggest result in terms of lowering my blood work age. And Insight Tracker also breaks down pretty much all the biomarkers relevant to assessing the blood work biological age, and you can see MSCH, oxygen transport. You can also learn more about the details of this. My result, 33.1 grams per deciliter. Impact on inner age, however, is no impact, so it doesn't really have a significant impact. And as you can see, you can click learn more about your MCH results, which refers to the average concentration of hemoglobin found in red blood cells. My BMI 25, also no impact, and that's still in the kind of normal range for my age. GGT, which is a liver enzyme assessing your liver health, is 14 units per liter, gives me minus 0.1 years. And you can see how do I compare in terms of the other people of my age. So it's a significant lower, which is a good thing. Like high liver enzymes means that the liver is just overburdened or there's some sort of liver damage, for example. Hematocrit 47.7% as minus 0.2 years, which is above the average, so that's a good thing. LDL 92 milligrams per deciliter, minus 0.2 years. So that's a good, actually a very good result, and I've actually lowered my LDL over the past few years quite substantially with some dietary changes. High sensitive CRP, and this is like the highly sensitive inflammation marker, 0.2 minus 2 years. Usually the CRP markers, they don't really go into like the full detail, like they cap out at a certain range. Some laboratories do like 0.4 only, so they say less than 0.4 or 0.15 or something like that. So it's very hard to get like an actual number, but I mean it's pretty much virtually zero. Essentially the inflammation marker in my body gives me 0.2-year reduction. Triglycerides, so fatty acids in my bloodstream. You don't want to have high amounts of triglycerides in your blood. Might mean some metabolic disorder, or if you have like a bad diet, for example. My result, 31 milligrams per deciliter, minus 0.4 years, which is also excellent result. You want to be at least 150 to be not considered to have like metabolic syndrome or something like that. But I think the 150 is already pretty high. You would want to have it below 100 for sure if you're relatively healthy and fit. But mine is 31, which is very good. Sex hormone binding globulin. So this is the protein that binds to testosterone and makes it more inactive, if that makes sense. So high SHBG means that you're going to have less free testosterone. So you have regular testosterone and free testosterone. And free testosterone usually is the number that isn't affected by the sex hormone binding globulin, if that makes sense. And my result, 28 minus a half year I get from this, and that's also a very good result. 28 red blood cells, minus 0.7 years. Oxygen transport, MCH, which is another average amount of hemoglobin, minus 0.7. Calcium, so the amount of calcium in my body. So obviously excess calcium might cause some like calcification, but low calcium levels are actually also very harmful to your health, and calcium levels generally decrease with age, which increases your risk of osteoporosis and those kind of things. So you don't want to be like obviously low calcium, and my levels are above the normal, and that's a good thing. And for my age, it actually gives me the result that it lowers my aging score by 1.1 years. Albumin is a serum protein, and 4.9 grams per deciliter minus 1.2 years. Albumin is a marker of liver function that generally peaks at age 20, then decreases with age. So my liver health is very good. Like, I don't drink any alcohol, I don't take any other substances, I don't take any pharmaceuticals actually, so I do only take over-the-counter supplements. And many people think that supplements may harm liver function, but apparently not. My liver is in peak health and peak condition. And yes, if you are taking like some painkillers or pharmaceuticals, then yes, your liver health might suffer. And of course, the bad diet will also decrease your liver function and damage the liver. So if you eat too much sugar, especially a lot of fructose, a lot of fat, and a lot of trans fats and all those things, then yes, your liver is going to get fattier, and you also decreases the liver function. But yeah, like, I have a good diet. I only take over-the-counter supplements, no pharmaceuticals, no drugs, no alcohol, and I maintain good body composition. I'm very low body fat, so that's the reason why I have such good liver health. Next up, blood glucose levels. So the regular blood sugar levels, 70 milligrams per deciliter, minus 1.4 years. So it's interesting to see this giving this much of a reduction in the biological age. So 70 is obviously very good. Like, if you're below 100, then that's considered like the lowest risk. So if you're like 90 milligrams per deciliter, then you're already in very good metabolic health in terms of the blood sugar levels. If you're at 115 milligrams per deciliter, then that's categorized as pre-diabetes. You would expect your blood sugar levels to drop pretty low if you're fasted. And I did the test in the morning while having fasted, and also while having eaten a low-carb diet for the few days before taking the test. So that's why I think my blood sugar levels in this result was so low. So I've been just kind of trying to keep my blood sugar levels relatively low before taking the test. So of course it might not be that low all the time. I think on average my blood sugar levels would be maybe like 80. So my blood sugar levels are still very good. My insulin levels are also very low because of doing a lot of time restricted eating and intermittent fasting. But yeah, 70 milligrams is usually what you would achieve on a low carb semi-ketogenic diet and combining it with fasting. So that's why I got this result on this particular test. My free testosterone levels, 17 nanograms per deciliter, gives me minus 1.5 years. And yes, the reason why for that is because of my low sex hormone binding globulin as well. And like I said, if you have high sex hormone binding globulin, then even if you have very high normal testosterone levels, if you also have high SHBG at the same time, then your free testosterone levels might be low. So it doesn't really matter how high your like normal testosterone level is. You also need to take into account sex hormone binding globulin. Even albumin actually also contributes to the free testosterone levels. And yeah, like, the free testosterone is actually what matters at the end of the day. My for the record, my normal testosterone levels are around 700. So still, on the upper end, it's not obviously as high as like 900 or something like that, which is considered like the limit for natural testosterone production. Above 1,000 is what's very hard to achieve naturally. But 700, I just maintain very low body fat percentage. I don't eat that many calories. I do some form of intermittent fasting. Those things do decrease your testosterone levels, but 700 testosterone based on what I'm doing and based on my low level of body fat is a pretty good result. And at the end of the day, what matters more is the free testosterone. So 17 nanograms per deciliter is well above the average for my age. And lastly, hemoglobin A1C, which refers to the average blood sugar levels over the past few weeks, and the score for that is 4.6 for me. Anything below 5.5 is very good, or 5.7 even is very good. If you have 6.5%, then that's diabetes, and that's what you don't want to get. But 5.5 is gonna be for most people, like non-diabetic, most normal people, and being 5.2 already means that you're in pretty good metabolic health. Being below 5 is also hard to achieve unless you are deliberately trying to suppress your blood sugar levels, which I had been doing over the past few weeks before taking this test. And the reason for that is that I'm going to measure my speed of biological aging with the do not in pace value again, and actually did the blood work just before taking the do not in pace value test. And I do think that managing your blood sugar levels has an important role in slowing down the speed of aging. Obviously, we don't know how low you need to be. I don't think that you need to be below 5%. I was just taking a lot of berberine, for example, and eating a lot of, let's say, low-carb foods to keep my blood sugar low for the last month or so, which is why my hemoglobin A1C is also relatively low. So over the last few months, or 1.5 months or something, I've lost quite a lot of weight. I've lost like 4 kilograms of weight, and being on a low carb diet for most of the time, and that's why my blood sugar is low, my hemoglobin A1C is low, my cholesterol is also pretty low, triglycerides are low. So there's just indicators that I've been energy deprived, if that makes sense. I've been restricting carbohydrates and restricting even fats to lose a lot of the weight. If you do want to get your blood work done at home very conveniently, then check out Inside Tracker. Head over to insidetracker.com/SiimLund and use the code SiimLund for a 20% discount. But other than that, thanks for watching this video. Make sure you click the like, subscribe, notification bell as well. My name is Siim. Stay optimized, stay empowered.